Buffalo Blitz. Buffalo Blitz. Buffalo Blitz. Oh yeah. Saving the day with another great show. Yeah, Buffalo Blitz. Oh yeah. Sports talk is the only way. Yeah, oh, the show's your game is through. 'Cause now you have to answer to the Buffalo Blitz. Oh yeah. Sit on your butt and we'll talk football. Buffalo Blitz. Oh yeah. Got another great show. It's coming for you. Yeah. Football, oh yeah, hockey, oh yeah, basketball, oh yeah, baseball, oh yeah, 91.3 FM. It's a dream that we all share. It's the sports talk of tomorrow, oh yeah. Kramer. Oh yeah. Frank Arcury. Oh yeah. Louie DiBiase. Oh yeah. Jordan Haskins. Oh yeah. 91.3 FM. Oh yeah. It's a dream that we all share. It's the sports talk of tomorrow. Oh yeah. 91.3 FM. WBNY. Buffalo.
Oh yeah, it is the Blitz. The Blitz. The Buffalo Blitz. Derek Kramer, Frank Arcury, Louie DiBiase, James Bittler. We are missing Joe as of the moment he said he's going to call in. We'll find out. But this is the Buffalo Blitz on 91.3 FM WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982, brought to you by the Buffalo State College Student Activity Fee. Guys, let's get right into it. Bills. They were all over the place, and in a good way. We are talking about the 41-14 smackdown that they put on the Miami Dolphins.
They squished the fins.
Oh, apparently I missed the button. Sorry, Lou.
I'm not proud of my lone wolf pick of the Dolphins last week.
Didn't you pick them to win the division?
I did, James. I did. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's just for you.
You
So
know what?
let's talk about this travesty of a game.
All right.
If you're a Dolphins fan.
How awesome of a game.
Yes, it was a great game.
I was
It was
amazing.
a great game.
Like, they could have put this on NFL Follies.
You know what I noticed, too, is to get into the analysis part of it,
Yes.
really, Tyrod Taylor has, in 3 games, impressed completely from the pocket and with his arm.
Yes.
You really haven't seen him run that much. You know, the first game he had 41 yards on the ground, but it was really based
a
off
majority
a
of
31-yard
the
run.
majority of it was one
The
run.
second game, too, he had a rushing touchdown, but you're not seeing a lot of the designed runs from the Bills. You're really seeing more of the improvisational runs, but even that, you're seeing him sit back in the pocket, and man, does that guy have an arm. Those bombs he had yesterday, the one to Chris Hogan especially,
Yes.
showing off the arm talent, he's looked very poised, and the Bills have found a hidden gem. It's been incredible to see how well and even in the Patriots game, how he managed to bounce back after a bad first half. It's been impressive, and the Bills are 2-1 right now, and they're looking pretty good.
I think that bounce back started in the fourth quarter of the Patriots game.
Yes,
where
absolutely.
they started to come back and they eventually lost. But going on what you said about Tyrod Taylor's bomb to Chris Hogan, the defense just wasn't there. I'm pretty sure I could have made that pass.
The safety was late, and it was actually cover 3.
Yeah,
and the corner let him go.
Yeah, just was like, oh, the safety's got him, and the safety didn't have him.
It was a cover 3.
Chris Hogan was like, I'm wide open. I know my nickname's 7-11, but hey, guys, pass it to me. I'm right here.
He's
and,
always open.
he showed his old team that he was definitely open.
Speaking of
As he
which, can I
always
just
is.
mention that point of the biggest troll in the NFL is Rex Ryan?
Yes.
Because
he absolutely is.
The captains for yesterday's game were Richie Incognito, former Dolphin.
Yes.
Charles Clay, former Dolphin. Marcus Thigpen, former Dolphin. Chris Hogan, former Dolphin. And Dan Carpenter, former Dolphin. Can we expect this every single week? I mean, do we have
Yes.
anybody on the Giants that used to play on the Giants? I don't think so.
No.
Real quick. But I really hope we play. I really wish now we play Baltimore because they're 0-3 and don't look that good.
And
but
B,
I
there's
would
Tyrod
really
Taylor.
love to see Tyrod Taylor go out and be the lone captain because I really think Rex Ryan would pull that.
Oh, he would.
Yes,
he would do that.
Especially since Ryan made his mark in Baltimore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
True.
he could be a captain. So it would be Tyrod and Rex Ryan going out as captains.
Hey, Coach Rex Ryan, who are your captains? Tyrod Taylor and me.
And me. Yeah, and I'm going to call Tails because that resembles the most about feet. Sorry, that was too soon. I apologize.
James
Rex
has
Ryan.
no chill right
No
now.
chill.
I thought it would have been funny to see Rex Ryan as the lone captain against the Patriots.
Yes.
I think that would have been great.
Yes.
It's
But-
Rex
Well,
Ryan.
when
I'm
we play,
expecting it now.
Yeah.
When we play Philly, LaShawn McCoy should be the only captain.
Yep.
All right, and the Eagles will be sure to send out Kiko Alonso, who will be on crutches by that time.
Yeah, he'll be on crutches. So.
Yikes. All right. Anyway,
fine.
enough about captains. How about the dominance of this game? Buffalo stormed right out of the gate on their first drive, and you saw Charles Clay get involved early and often. 3 catches. He had that touchdown where he made 3 Dolphins miss.
Stupid.
Very
stupid.
Very amazing. And a lot of it was that play action, even though they hadn't run the ball yet in that game.
Right.
And they were using play action to get rid of a aggressive Dolphins front 7. Tyrod Taylor was moving out in a moving pocket, and he was throwing strikes left and right. He didn't miss on that first drive.
They exposed a defensive line that they poured a lot of money into in the offseason, and that defensive line has been basically just irrelevant for
Non-existent.
the Dolphins so far. And you're right, they did these play action passes over and over again, but the thing was the Bills never established a run game and never even ran the football. But the Dolphins kept biting on it, and their secondary right now is Brent Grimes and a bunch of scrubs running around because it looked horrible. And another thing, too, you saw on the other side of the field, Ryan Tannehill got battered and beat down. That offensive line was exposed by that Bills defensive front.
Yet
end.
again.
Just outmatched physically again, and it's been 3 weeks in a row. Honestly, the Dolphins should be looking at an 0-3 start if it wasn't for a Jarvis Landry punt return touchdown against the Redskins week 1.
Yes, and there's another thing right there. This is a Miami Dolphins team that had problems closing out the Washington Redskins of all teams. And then they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars on what was probably one of the dumbest penalties you'd ever see a veteran take in Olivier Vernon.
Yeah.
Taking a late penalty and allowing the Jaguars to take a game-winning field goal. And then against Buffalo, they looked listless. It looked like at the end of the first quarter, it's 17-0, and it looked like it was going to get a lot worse, and it did. It looked exactly how it was going to.
If you look at the game film by breakdown, so if you look at how just the Dolphins performed against the Jaguars offense-wise, Ryan Tannehill looks like he can make some big boy throws. He got out of the pocket. He moved around. He completed his check down when nothing was open downfield. He got the ball out quick. But you can't watch the defense, and that's supposed to be their strong point. Everybody kept saying all offseason, look out for that Dolphin defense. You know, there may be a better front 4 than what Buffalo has. There may be a better defensive team overall. It didn't look like that. And, I mean, you saw the battle of the big defensive tackle contract, whatever you want to call it, between Mr. Big Stuff and Ndamukong Suh, and Marcel Darius looked like the better player worth the money they're being paid. He got pressure on Tannehill all day. He made him feel uncomfortable, and I believe he did register a sack, right? Marcel Darius?
I don't recall. There were only 2 sacks on Tannehill, surprisingly.
I think Marcel Darius was one of them, and he just...
There were 8 quarterback hits on Tannehill. They were by 8 different players.
Yeah. Well, it didn't look
Fun
fair.
fact.
It didn't
Fun
look
fact.
fair because
Not fun for Tannehill, but
that defensive line didn't look good, and our
Darius did have a sack.
Darius
Yes, he
did have a
did,
sack.
yep.
Okay, perfect. So, you know, you're looking at the defensive line who was supposed to be amazing. Our defensive line was amazing, and our offensive line, everybody was calling the question after the Patriots game, giving up 8 sacks. And we're out of the middle of nowhere, Incognito's coming out and playing the best guard position in the NFL. And it's making Eric Wood look better, and it's making all the other players look better because they don't have to rely on everybody because they have that stable force in the center now.
What a signing, too, for the Bills to go out and get Incognito when he hadn't played football for almost 2 years, and even before
And he
when
took
he was
the
playing for
veteran
Miami.
minimum.
And exactly,
Yeah.
and when he was playing for Miami the year before, he wasn't really playing all that well. It was a huge risk for the Bills and Rex Ryan to sign Richie Incognito, and like he said, it's been paying off in tremendous ways. That entire offensive line is benefiting from that great guard play, and you're seeing guys like Carlos Williams, the running back, benefit it so much. He's just gashing all the holes, and that's 3 touchdowns now in 3 games for Carlos Williams, who's probably going to be the starter this week. So the entire offense to me looks really well balanced, and if Watkins can be healthy, this is a team to be reckoned with on offense.
Now, before we get into Carlos Williams and LaShawn McCoy, I'm going to ask a question, and if anyone's listening and wants to call in, I'm going to give this question to everyone. Who is the better value signing for the Buffalo Bills this offseason? Is it Richie Incognito or is it Tyrod Taylor?
I mean, it's hard to argue with the quarterback, especially when he's not really been a liability. That's really what the Bills were just hoping the quarterback stayed out of the way and didn't get in the way of the offense. Tyrod Taylor's making this offense even more dynamic. It's completely different.
Are you ready for a stat?
I'm going to say Tyrod.
Are you ready for a stat?
Sure.
The Buffalo Bills over 3 games are averaging 367 yards.
Tyrod Taylor is no
game.
game manager. Well, it's
They
absolutely
have
that's a
100
great stat to show.
points. They are the 3rd highest scoring offense, the number 1 rushing offense, the number 1 rushing defense. I mean, the stats out of this team are
The only thing that's skewed is
mind-blowing.
from Tom Brady throwing 466 on.
And
Exactly.
you know what? That's only going to happen one more time this year, and I'm okay with 15-1 or 14-2. I'm going to be the internal optimist here.
Yes.
We can still make the playoffs at 14-2, right? That's good, right?
Oh, that's usually a good thing.
Okay.
I hope so.
All right. I just,
13-3, week 14.
Oh, come on.
Really?
Give it up.
1 win?
Eagles,
right.
baby.
Eagles.
Okay, come on.
All
now.
right.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
All right. Anyway, Frank, who do you think is the better off-season value?
I would probably have to go Incognito
Okay.
because I love what Taylor has been bringing to this offense, but I'm also thinking too, if you put EJ in that position,
James approves, by the way.
yeah, if you put an EJ Manuel or even Matt Castle in that position, this Bills offense is still going to be doing well because they're getting that good guard position.
I'm not
which
going
is-
to
I don't know
totally agree
about
with that
that.
second part.
But I'm saying is our offensive line was a question going
It
into
was
the
a
year.
big question
It was
mark.
a big
It was a
question, and
huge
right
one.
now with the way Incognito played too, it's looking pretty good.
Richie Incognito is a man. And I
Yeah.
mean this in a way like he moves people. He is exactly what the Bills needed, a shot in the arm on the offensive line. James approved. He was waving thumbs up everywhere when Frank was talking, and I'm going to go ahead and
Build
double
a bully.
that. I will double that. It's not even about building a bully. This is about providing stable ground attack for a Buffalo offense that's first in the league. This is about offering great protection from the inside, which is the quickest way to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And he was handling Ndamukong Suh in single man on a couple of plays in pass pro. He was doubled, sometimes even tripled, but when Incognito was asked to beat Ndamukong Suh, he did it. And Suh is the guy who got what, 113 million?
A lot.
Yeah, way too much. Let's just
Yes,
say.
he got
Too
way,
much.
he got too
What
much.
has
to
been
the point where
but-
Warren Buffett was giving him advice on his expenses
Yes,
yesterday.
but now the other thing is that Incognito has brought great protection. He has brought he's brought great run blocking,
Mm.
and the versatility of how he can pull. That is a moving wrecking ball.
And it definitely helps with a guy like LeSean McCoy who was used to that in Philadelphia,
Yes.
pushing it to the outside, so that definitely helps.
That Carlos Williams touchdown run.
Yep.
Incognito runs a quick sweep pull, and Carlos Williams hits that hole, bounces back through the inside slasher style, and gone.
That's the thing. The Bills really, their offensive line's opening up holes. They just need the running back to hit it, and that's
And
some of the
who
time
is-
the problem.
And who's
with
the
it.
guy on the inside of the offensive line doing it?
Richie Incognito.
It's number
There you
64.
go.
Right.
Who's-
What has been what has been a big success for the Patriots over the last 10 years? Brady's always protected too. They've always had a really good offensive line that can also open up holes for the running back.
I'm
and
gonna
give-
debate that.
Okay,
one.
I
It's
mean,
the
not-
offensive line's
it's
been-
hard to get to Brady.
They're doing.
Suspect.
They're doing.
That's
the-
because he gets the ball off in under.
They're
2
doing
that
the.
too.
seconds.
One
They're doing the
that
Ryan.
helps.
They're doing the Ryan Fitzpatrick
Also,
Changeli thing.
the reason the Patriots have been really good over the past 15 years is because of Tom Brady.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom Brady,
I wouldn't
Tom Brady,
argue
Tom
that.
Brady. I'm pretty sure if
just
Tom
Brady.
Brady was
That's
1
a-
versus
that's a-
11, he'd still win.
It's a constant. It's the constant.
All right, this is just going to go out. I'm going to say something about Richie Incognito. First, any of our listeners out there who are better at Wikipedia than I am, you have to change his Wikipedia page because it still has him in a Dolphins uniform. So that needs to be changed right away because he's in the Buffalo Bills decor with the number 64 and all his information, but it needs to be changed to a Bills picture like yesterday,
Yes.
please. And as far as, Richie Incognito is doing amazing. He is ranked the best guard in the league. But I think really what's making the unsung hero of the offense is Jerome Felton. He's doing a lot down low, and he's doing a lot to free up Carlos Williams. LeSean McCoy doesn't need Jerome Felton, and that's why he's not out there with him, because I feel like Jerome Felton just gets in LeSean McCoy's way. But I think Carlos Williams is that half step slower than LeSean McCoy is, where Jerome Felton benefits him. So you have Richie Incognito opening up and taking on the lineman, and that first linebacker who's coming through, Jerome Felton just barreling through and
He's
letting
barreling
Carlos
through,
run
man.
free.
And Carlos
then
is
he
running
has
downhill.
the speed to go ahead because there was that 41-yard touchdown play. Hogan had the block, and he ran right past that corner. The corner had no idea what was going on. He was going to get ready to engage Hogan, and then by the time he realized it, Carlos Williams was scampering away for 41 yards.
And a man with that kind of size, you're talking 6'1", 230, and the way he can move is fantastic.
And he's only 21.
And now I'm bringing up this next point because it's a perfect segue. LaShawn McCoy is in danger of not playing in Week 4.
I have an unconfirmed source that say he is not going to play. We'll get to that later.
And we will get to story time in a bit. I'm going to say this, guys, is this a good idea to sit LaShawn McCoy for, in my opinion, the most consistent running back over the first 3 weeks?
I think it's a smart move when the guy behind you is playing simply better than you are. And LaShawn McCoy has had an injury. It's a good excuse to get Carlos Williams more action here. And he made a good point as to why the fullback has been benefiting Williams more too, because McCoy's really been trying to make his own holes and waiting for certain ones. And a lot of times they're not finding them. That's not how this offensive line is built. And I think Carlos Williams just fits the mold better. And yes, McCoy's been really, really good in the receiving game so far, but I think they want to see more of how Carlos Williams is. It's just you gave LaShawn McCoy this lengthy extension. I'm not sure how much of this is actually the injury, more of they want Carlos Williams to play, and this kind of gives them an excuse. I think it's a smart move for the Bills, though, because simply Carlos Williams has been the more effective runner. He has a touchdown in every one of his games. He's been hitting every hole, and he's just simply been the better player.
It's not even the numbers. It's the way he's running.
Yeah, you can just tell he's just more effective.
If you watch the game, you can see it, that Carlos Williams looks comfortable in this offense.
And I will say, LaShawn McCoy did have a very good game against the Patriots. He averaged 5.9 per carry.
And he looked like he had the pep in his step, but it was gone.
When he's fully healthy, you're still
stretched.
seeing the explosiveness, especially in the receiving game. But again, is he fully healthy? That's to be determined still.
There's no conspiracy theory out there that exists right now of Carlos Williams wanting to take that job or the Bills wanting to give Carlos Williams this job. They signed LaShawn McCoy to that big, long contract. He is their guy. They traded Kiko Alonso to get LaShawn McCoy. That is their guy.
They put the money into him.
They put the money into him. They drafted Carlos Williams with a 4th-round draft pick. 5th-round draft pick. And that was just they got lucky. They have Darby, who's playing lights out. You have John Miller, who's stepped in and played very well. And now you have Carlos Williams. He is just playing out of his mind to show that he belongs there, because I feel like he got slighted going all the way in the 5th round.
Yes.
But he's not the guy. He's going to play well. He's going to be serviceable.
I think he's the
I feel
guy
like it's
of the
hard to
future.
say that just because he was a 5th-round draft pick that he should. If he's playing more effective, he's averaging 7.8 yards
I'm not
per
saying-
carry.
I'm not saying. Okay, I'm gonna break this up. Neither of you are necessarily wrong. LaShawn McCoy is the present investment.
Right.
But you want to tell me, but I can go ahead and guarantee you that LaShawn McCoy's not seeing the end of that contract. I can
Agreed.
guarantee that.
Agreed.
It's a 5-year. He'll be 32 when it comes to. So no.
I don't
Okay.
even think he sees year 4. I don't. He gets cut by the time he's 30, I think. And Carlos Williams will have his contract running out. And who do you think you're going to side with, the 30-year-old LaShawn McCoy or the now 24-year-old Carlos Williams?
That played out well. The last time this played out in Buffalo, it was the 30-year-old running back that we sided with, and we traded Marshawn Lynch away. So I mean, if history repeats itself, hopefully it doesn't. But
Yeah.
But that means that LaShawn McCoy is playing at a high level still.
right, it's going to be Carlos.
Or Carlos Williams has a character issue.
If all goes well, Carlos Williams is going to be on this team for a very long time. We got lucky by getting a steal in the 5th round with him, and
Yes.
so far he's played lights out. I think he's averaging. He's the best rookie running back. Gurley and Melvin Gordon have done nothing. Well, Gurley's first game, I can't go ahead and say he's done nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's played out of his mind, and right now he's leading all running backs.
Right.
He's just been playing the best. And yeah, absolutely, I agree with Derek. He's the future for this Bills team. McCoy will not see the end of that contract. He'll probably be cut after the 3rd year.
Yeah.
And then Carlos Williams is going to get signed to a nice long-term deal, and then here's your starter.
And I agree with James that McCoy is the guy for now. It's just when you kind of look at a lot of the situations in the NFL, this is a different position, but Matt Flynn signed a huge contract in Seattle, but Russell Wilson simply played better than him over the course of the preseason.
and what's
it
the most
benefited
replaceable position in the league?
Running back.
Exactly. So McCoy's the guy for now. He has been playing good in the receiving game and sometimes in the run game.
He's
but
been very versatile.
I'm just looking long term and the way Carlos Williams looks right now, and he fits the offense to me better.
I
McCoy
agree
might
with
be
you.
the better player right now, skill wise.
I agree with you. He looks much more comfortable.
they just seem like they're more comfortable with what they're doing on offense with Carlos
At the
Williams.
very worst, Carlos Williams this year is the change of pace back that gets 10 carries.
Which is perfect. If
Which,
he's going to be running like this, it's fine.
If he runs like this, sign me up for 10 carries a
That's
game. He's
fine.
going to get you 60 yards a pop.
That's totally
Simple
fine.
as that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Carlos Williams looks like he's very comfortable in the system. I think he's more physical, which is what Greg Roman's system entails. Because look at Frank Gore. Frank Gore is not a sideways runner. He was a downhill runner, and that's where he had the most success in Greg Roman's system.
Mm-hmm.
And now you see a Carlos Williams who looks like he's essentially a Frank Gore clone. A guy who he looks like he could be a bell cow back for you. He's got the size, and he's got the nice combination of speed. He is going to be your running back of the future for the Buffalo Bills. And it's going to be nice to see that they are going to sign him probably to like a nice little bridge contract when his rookie contract's up.
Yep.
Now, guys, that defense, let's just say last week it had a rough go of things.
Yep.
To put it nicely. They rebounded. They swarmed Tannehill. They walloped him 8 different times with 8 different players. They had 3 interceptions. Preston Brown looked very good in coverage. And he was also Mr. Johnny on the spot with both of those interceptions. Ronald Darby has been the most tested player probably in the Bills secondary, and he's coming up big on a consistent basis. Stephon Gilmore, he gave up that touchdown to Rashard Matthews, but he also fell on the play. And you're looking at this Bills team, and Aaron Williams, who's the better coverage safety of him and Bakari Rambo, they have time to really just let him slow heal. But the question becomes this. The Giants are up next week. Do you really think either of them are really shutting down ODB or limiting the damage?
No, I mean, and Odell Beckham's going to be lining up a lot in the slot. That's what they've been doing a lot with him the
And
first
that's
3
Nickel
games.
Roby's job.
And that's Nickel Roby. And maybe the smaller, the faster guy maybe matches up better with Odell Beckham, but they're going to be lining up in a bunch of different
They put
bunch of
him
different
everywhere.
formations. So you're going to see all 3 of them to me covering him. So can they shut him down? I don't think so.
Do you think they
I
can
mean, the
minimize
Cowboys
his
did it,
damage
so-
with Victor Cruz returning?
Yes, they can. And you look at what the Cowboys did, and you're going to try to have that blueprint on him. Really press him at the line. Don't let him outrun you. And I think they can definitely
That is
maintain
true. Odell
that.
Beckham did look human in week.
Only had
week
44
one.
yards
Yeah.
with 3 catches. So you can do that. You can jam him at the line, and I think Gilmore would be good for that. But you just can't let him get behind you. And if you play off coverage on him, he's going to burn you. And I think that so they have to use the Cowboys' blueprint of what they did compared to the Redskins, who just sat on him, let him have these underneath routes, and
The
pick them
Falcons
apart
did the same
and
thing.
runs after the catch. So, 2 weeks in a row that teams have done it. So the Bills need to use the Cowboys' blueprint. And I think that they can maintain they can keep him under what he's been doing the past couple of weeks.
I'm going to go ahead and say it all starts at the line. We do have the best defensive line in football, no question about it. And if you can get to Eli Manning and you can make Eli Manning's day miserable and you can make it look somewhat like you did with Tannehill, I don't think we're going to have to worry about Odell Beckham. I think you're going to have to shut down one of the 2 of them. I think Victor Cruz would be the easier of the ones to shut down because they don't have very many passing options outside of those 2. And once you get one of those 2 guys shut down and you're blitzing Eli Manning just lights out, I think it's going to make things very, very, very interesting to see how that game turns out.
Yeah, it's a tough challenge,
good
and
point.
honestly, I was watching a lot of the Giants throughout this day, so I really think that the Buffalo Bills, they're going to have their hands full defensively again. But if it means Eli throws for 297 and 2 touchdowns, but it gets them 3 picks just like they got on Tannehill, I feel like they've got it. Offensively, the Giants have a weak spot. Right tackle TJ Clemmings. He was beat consistently by an Atlanta pass rush that is inferior to the Buffalo pass rush. And honestly, the interior line was not very well tested, as Kyle Williams and Marcel Darius are easily the best players, are 2 of the best players in the
Best
entire
tandem.
league. Best tandem of defensive tackles in the league. So you're looking at that, and you're seeing that you can probably get a lot of pressure in the face of Eli Manning, especially if you jam Odell Beckham up at the line. Offensively for the Bills, they look like they're going to need to avoid one person and one person in particular. Number 95, Jonathan Hankins. I was watching a lot of that New York-Atlanta game, and Hankins was disrupting the backfield, the left guard spot primarily. So this is going to be Richie Incognito earning his money again.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, we are going to take a break here on the Buffalo Blitz. When we return, repeat champion in the pick'em,
Yes, sir.
as well as a tie
Yes.
in the pick'em.
Bum, bum,
Bum, bum, bum. Joe DiBiase should be calling in, hopefully. And if any of you want to call the station, 878-5104 is the number. And we will be right back on the Blitz.
Lend an ear, and you'll hear all about a beer for here. We're sincere, a pioneer. Community Beer Works.
Located at 15 Lafayette Avenue, Community Beer Works fills growlers 3 to 7 p.m. Thursdays and Fridays, and at Bidwell's Farmers Market on Saturdays. For more information, go to communitybeerworks.com. Cheers!
So here's 3 cheers for local beers. Beer, 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 Community Beer Works.
You hear a lot of music on WBNY, and it's nice to recognize those tracks that our brilliant DJs agree are worth playing for you. That's the idea behind the WBNY 25, a weekly countdown of the top songs by airplay here on Buffalo's original alternative. I'm Tom Connolly. Listen to the WBNY 25 every Wednesday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on 91.3 FM WBNY.
And so it begins.
.3 FM WBNY. This is the Blitz, the Buffalo Blitz. Derek Kramer, Frank Arcury, James Bittler, Louie DiBiase. And guys, we just went into a nice little couple details about the Buffalo Bills and that big 41-14 win over the Miami Dolphins. And now it's time to look a little bit around the league and see what some of the biggest stories were. And in my opinion, there is one. A major AFC contender was given a major blow when the helmet and shoulder pad of Mark Barron plunged into the left knee of Ben Roethlisberger and gave probably everyone in Pittsburgh and fantasy owners everywhere around the country, 3 of us of the 4 in the studio actually, when Ben Roethlisberger went down and it looked like his season was over. He suffered a MCL sprain and a bone bruise, probably out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm blaming my fantasy loss on just that alone.
Same here.
Not bad player positioning or anything, but just Ben Roethlisberger going down.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, he ended up with 5 points fantasy-wise, I think, and that's usually not good
No bueno.
for a QB1.
Yeah.
But Roethlisberger went down, Michael Vick went in, and the Pittsburgh offense, which is one of the most dangerous in the NFL, suddenly looked a little punchless. They scored 3 points the entire rest of the way, but the Steelers proved a way to win a different kind of ball game. They locked it down in a defensive struggle, 12-6. What does that say about the Steelers?
I think the defense is coming along better. They're getting some more contributions from their younger players. Their secondary doesn't look like hot garbage like they did in the first game. You look at the offense, really, but even though when Ben Roethlisberger was in, the Rams' defense was actually playing pretty well against them. They were holding down their passing game. I thought Le'Veon Bell coming back was a huge contribution. And when you look at how they're going to stay afloat in this AFC North, you got the Bengals who are 3-0 and they're looking dynamite. You're going to need Vic. I think it's okay that it's better to have Vic in there than some other guys. He's a veteran. He can still push the ball downfield. I think he still is one of the biggest arms in the NFL if you look at just pure arm strength. And he's got set up with weapons. Antonio Brown's still there. They're going to get Martavius Bryant back soon. I think they can stay afloat until Roethlisberger comes back. I think Vic's the right guy to do it. He's a veteran. He's been there for a while. But they got to get him into the running game, let him start keeping defenses honest with that. But I thought it was encouraging to see their defense step up because now they're going to have to win some tight games, and it starts Thursday against a Baltimore Ravens team who's desperate for a win at 0-3. So it's encouraging for the defense, but the offense now has to play around Vic's strengths and really run the football with Le'Veon Bell.
Yes, I agree. I think that it's one of those things where it was nice to see Pittsburgh. It was refreshing to see their defense actually show up again for the first time in 3 years. And, it was very nice to see that they were able to still pull that one off. I mean, it helped a bunch of us in the pick'ems. As we ended up, I think it was a clean slate that we all picked Pittsburgh in that one.
And they had 2 sacks. They had an interception, so they're starting to get some turnovers and some really good plays on defense. But they have to consistently play this well because the secondary still is a major concern.
In any team that still has Antonio Brown and then any team that still has Le'Veon Bell is going to be just fine. I am not too worried about Pittsburgh, at least going above or staying around 500 for this time being. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger's out. They're saying 4 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yep.
If they're going to come out of this and be 3-3, they're 2-1 right now. That'll put them in good position. They're not going to win the division because Cincinnati, like Lou said, looks dynamite. And if AJ Green is on the pace that he's on right now, no one's going to be able to catch him. Andy Dalton actually looks like he has things somewhat figured out.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see in January.
Yeah,
but for now.
he's always played very well in the regular season. It's kind of like the curse of Peyton Manning. Going to be great in the regular season, and when it comes time for the playoffs, he's not there anymore. He doesn't show up.
You're right, though. He looks like he's on a different level this year, though.
He's looking a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more confident in the offense. Who knows what's happened? And maybe it's just the rookie nerves, the idea of having the big contract.
Yeah.
Who knows what the deal is with Andy Dalton? He's finally figured it out, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they turn it about. That's going to be a team the Bills will be fighting for a playoff spot for, even with our 14-2 record. I'm already giving a loss to the Patriots because it's just going to happen. But they'll be a wild card team, I think, because the AFC South is garbage. Watching Kansas City play right now, I don't think they're as good as I thought they were. And the West is going to go to Denver. So I think you're going to see Pittsburgh, Buffalo, New England, Indianapolis in the playoffs for the AFC.
And I think, too, the Bengals on defense have been playing really consistent. They got Geno Atkins back healthy, too, and that's huge for that team. They really just got to get Jeremy Hill going right now because he's been kind of slow the past 2 weeks. He fumbled twice in week 2, and this week he was held to 21 yards. So if they can get that run game going, too, they'll definitely run away with this division because, like you said, the North is not very competitive right now, especially with Roethlisberger down.
Yeah, and another thing about Cincinnati, they went shot for shot with Baltimore in what was probably one of the coolest fourth quarters you can ever see. Steve Smith turning back the clock and AJ Green going at it saying who can one up the other, and
AJ Green won.
AJ Green won. I mean, John Harbaugh said after the game, Ravens coach John Harbaugh said, we would like to cover AJ Green at least once before he retires.
500 and some odd yards in 3 games, 3 touchdowns. I mean, the stats are just inhuman. And the guy's amazing. I mean, that's going to be the scary thing when the Bengals come here to Buffalo, is to see what we can do to go up and match against him. Because when they were up here, I believe it was 2 years ago, he still whooped us for over 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
I mean, he was hurt almost all last year, kind of had a nagging injury. I think it was his foot or his ankle, something like that. And the guy is amazing. He's on the same level as Julio Jones. He's on the same level as Dez Bryant. The guy is awesome, and he's going to continue to play like that. And he's going to keep making Andy Dalton look better, too, I think.
And there's another thing about Andy Dalton. He is actually pushing the ball down the field, something that is an extreme difference compared to what he normally does in his normal gameplay. He is pushing the ball down the field, and he's completing a lot of deep passes, which is one of the biggest weaknesses in his scouting report. So Andy Dalton looks like he might actually have things figured out right now. We'll see, obviously. But other stories around the NFL. The Cardinals look like probably one of the most dominant teams in the NFL.
Talk about turning back the clock. It's the first time since a quarterback in their 30s, a running back in their 30s, and a wide receiver in their 30s put up those stats. You have Chris Johnson, who's turned 30, had 100 yards rushing. Carson Palmer, who's 35. And, I mean, that's one of the first drafts I remember as a sports fan, sitting down and watching when he went first overall from USC. And then you have Larry Fitzgerald, who I always kind of thought, hey, maybe the Bills could take him, but we got Lee Evans that year, so fine, whatever, because he's still in the league, said sarcastically. And, you know, watching Larry Fitzgerald do what he did the same way he played 5 years ago is amazing.
It's
their
great.
Defense
It's refreshing.
is just turning the football over like it's their job. 4 interceptions, 2 pick sixes on Kaepernick in the first quarter.
I was watching the Bills game, and I kept turning back to the Red Zone channel, and we watched the Bills game commercial, and I turned it to the Red Zone channel. We saw the first pick 6. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, good for Cardinals defense. And then the Bills game happened, and we turned it back to the Red Zone channel, and I was like, oh, we already saw this highlight. No, it was a completely different pick 6.
Speaking right now as a Cardinals defensive fantasy owner, so thank you very much.
The Arizona Cardinals
I'll take
are
that.
a team that went 11-5 last year and ended up essentially getting eliminated from the playoffs based on bad luck at the quarterback position when it came to injuries.
Ryan Lindley.
Ryan Lindley.
Skeleton.
Funny note.
John Skelton. Oh God, I'm thinking at this point they might have even taken Skelton over Lindley's performance. In that
Logan
game.
Thomas was also in there.
Logan
too.
Thomas. Oh God.
Food for thought.
And now they traded for Matt Barkley, and they're basically saying
for
if it
Barkley.
happens again, we're ready. So, so they've solved sadly their biggest issue, which is third string quarterback.
Yeah.
And they won games with Stanton. Palmer was unbeaten last year as a Cardinal, and this is a team that is coached by Bruce Arians, has one of the best defensive units in the league, and has an offense that looks like, it, as you said, James, is turning back the clock. It is very. I'm willing to say it right now. The Arizona Cardinals are becoming my early favorite to be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl.
I still like that bad man in Aaron Rodgers.
I also,
day.
for the record, did say something about Arizona possibly winning the NFC West.
Did you pick them winning the NFC
I
West?
did.
I was,
Okay.
I didn't get to be involved in all the fun and the pick'ems of the
Did I pick them
divisions,
to win the
Yes.
NFC
but
West?
you still have to play Seattle twice,
It's true.
and that's going to be tough.
Now Seattle has Cam Chancellor back.
And that team looked completely different with Cam Chancellor back.
They also faced Jimmy Clausen.
But that team looked completely different with Cam Chancellor back.
It
I mean,
probably
they shut
is
him
true.
out, 0 points.
But the
so-
Arizona Cardinals have something the Seattle Seahawks don't. That's
Carson Palmer.
a head start.
Oh. I don't know.
They
I'm
do
trying
have
to
a
read
head
your
start.
mind.
They do have a head start, and they also have a semblance of an offensive line.
Yeah.
How about another story note, just real quick? The Oakland Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders are 2-1.
Derek
And
Carr.
Derek Carr
My
is
gosh.
doing exactly what everyone here thought he would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked him up a lot this summer.
We talked him up
Yeah.
a lot this summer. We are all big fans of Lil Carr, and
It's not just him, too. Amari Cooper had 134 yards, and Khalil Mack had 2 sacks.
that was
Their
against
young
Joe
guys
Hayden.
they're getting contributions from all of their young cornerstones.
Yes, and it's very refreshing to see the Oakland Raiders at 2-1.
And who do they play next
Yeah.
week? Chicago, who has Jimmy Clausen. So maybe that's a 3-1 record.
Oh.
And you're looking at a Chicago defense that has major issues.
We'll find out in Pick'ems.
Dun,
Yes.
dun,
Dun, dun,
dun.
dun. And no, I'm not going to segue into that yet.
On the note, we're going to Pick'ems now.
Well, not yet. Not yet. The other thing that I wanted to talk about here was the Atlanta Falcons. They're 3-0. They seem to be
Yeah.
a team that just, you throw any challenge against this team, Dan Quinn's group is getting it together, and they are putting their fight on. They were back and forth with Philadelphia in week 1.
Yeah.
They were,
But beat Philadelphia.
but beat Philadelphia.
Way to
Okay.
rub it in, James. Thank you.
They were down by 10 in the fourth quarter against the Giants, and they won. And then Dallas put up a big early lead, and they came back to win this game. So, guys, the Atlanta Falcons, are they a team that can win the NFC South?
Yes.
They can. I
I-
still like the Panthers.
They can.
I definitely think that they can win the South. If they're firing at all cylinders, then they're going to still be a hot team. And I mean, Carolina still has some problems.
I mean, they do, but they went out and traded for Jared Allen today
They
to
did.
make that defense
Does-
even more scary.
Does
Cam Newton is shadowing those receiver problems, and if they can get Jonathan Stewart going on the ground game, I like them better than the Falcons. I think when those two play, those are going to be the key matchups in deciding the division. And Carolina's a more physical team, and I think they match up well against the Falcons. I mean, you look what they did last year to win the division; they manhandled them. Obviously, it's a different team, but I still like the Panthers and how well Cam Newton is playing right now at 3-0.
Now, James, before I get to you here, we're going to go ahead and introduce on the line Joe DiBiase.
Joe.
How's it going, everyone?
Good. And, Joe, we're going to go ahead and interrupt you real quick because James had a point.
The Panthers do look good at 3-0. Can't argue that. But right now, Cam Newton is being a one-man band by himself.
Yes,
He's making
true.
those receiver problems about not having any or losing Calvin Benjamin look amazing.
And he's only throwing to Greg Olsen.
And he's only throwing to Greg Olsen, which is not a bad problem to have.
Yeah.
But the problem is A, he didn't do himself any favors by throwing Ed Hockley under the bus. And the Super Bowl. Apparently, the Panthers
Bleacher
are Super
Report.
Bowl contenders with the Allen trade, is what we're seeing.
That's
up
how Bleacher
on,
Report just came out
Bleacher
with.
Report, yeah, okay. Which is going to go totally against my point of any team that has Julio Jones, where you can just throw the ball up and he will go and get it, and then run wherever he is on the field to the end zone, or fall into the end zone, or the guy has a nose for the touchdown, and he's going to get you points. He's going to be amazing. He just has to be healthy. But right now, Julio Jones is playing out of his mind. Devontae Freeman, where did he come from?
He is. I said this is a guy who's very talented.
Yeah.
As a running back, and him and Tevin Coleman did not even have a chance to really compete in training camp. Freeman was out with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Coleman won the job by default. Played very well in his stead. And then when he went out with injury, Freeman came back healthy and has taken over. It looks like it's just going to be a great backfield there for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I'm still worried about Freeman's workload, though, because he's a smaller guy.
tiny.
So I feel like he
split it up when,
because
when Coleman gets healthy.
They can't make the mistake that the Cardinals have been doing, which is running Andre Ellington into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you're going to go ahead and talk about you have to talk about Matty Ice. I mean, the guy has been clutch. I mean, for the longest time, he didn't lose a game at home, and then the last 2 seasons, he equaled his losses from his first 5 seasons.
But Mike Smith should have been fired 2 misused timeouts ago.
Yeah, Mike Smith should have been fired long before anything would have happened. But Matt Ryan being able to throw the ball wherever he wants, because he can make all the big boy throws that have to be made.
Yes.
And now that you have the running backs that can actually create a little bit of space, throw those wide receiver screens to Julio, get the wide receiver on the run, on the out, and toss it off to him. They look very, very, very dangerous in the South. And the only team you really have to compete against is the Panthers. Beat them twice, and you're in.
Beat them twice and control your division games, and it's over at that point.
Both the Carolina and Atlanta, they both don't play till the end of the season too.
Okay, so
That's
when
going
it
to be
gets
interesting.
Joe, who
I
are
think
you
it's,
like in this division?
I like the Falcons. I kind of liken Matt Ryan to what Matthew Stafford was a few years ago. I think they're kind of same caliber type of quarterback. When Matthew Stafford had Calvin Johnson, Stafford looked like an elite quarterback at times. Matt Ryan's looking like that right now, I think, a lot because Julio Jones just looks uncoverable. The Panthers just don't have that factor to their game. I like their defense more than the Falcons. I think it's going to be close. If I had to pick one right now, I'd probably say the Falcons just because if Julio keeps this up, I mean, he could carry them to the playoffs than Matt Ryan.
I'm on board with that entirely. I think Atlanta is that team. I had them as my preseason pick, and it looks like it's going to be a slugfest between these two teams. The NFC South looks better, at least, than it was last year.
Did you guys see this thing at the Panthers game where Ed Hockley, the referee, Cam Newton got pushed out of bounds, and Cam was complaining that it should have been a late hit, and Hockley actually could face discipline for saying that he's not old enough to get that kind of call.
I did make mention of that when I was saying Cam Newton didn't do himself any favors with the refs.
Right.
I went back and I watched the play where he supposedly said you're not old enough to get that call. That makes the point. Cam Newton was running. He's a runner. He's being treated as a running back. He's no longer being treated as a quarterback. Go ahead, let him get hit. And you know what? Like he said, you're not old enough to get that call. Hockley is the most recognized ref in the NFL with the big guns and the first down sign and flexing the muscles and everything like that. Everybody knows who he is. But you're a runner at that point, and you can't go ahead and have best of both worlds. Run out of the pocket and then want a personal foul play when you get hit. You're 6'5", 250 pounds. Take a hit.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that we're getting too ticky-tacky with hits on the quarterback and such, and even hits in general. But, I mean, I agree that the hit shouldn't have been a penalty, but you can't, as a referee, say that to a player. I mean, if he was mic'd up, even if he's correct, you can't. You can't really tell a player you don't get a call because of seniority.
Even if you're protecting the veteran players, you don't verbally say it. But to me, I don't think it's fair to say that Cam Newton should get that call because he has the ability to run. Just because if Peyton Manning rolls out on some bootleg and manages to find a way to get 10 yards, but he gets drilled, he's getting that penalty. But he's still running as a quarterback.
Sure.
I don't think you can narrow it down to, well, this guy actually runs a lot, so we're not going to give him the call. They're all quarterbacks, and I think you have to treat them all the same.
I don't think the call was meant to be slighted in the most part. I think Ed Hockley was joking around with him to a point.
Yeah.
Where you see a lot of the times the refs will go ahead and say something to these guys. I mean, you'll see a ref go ahead and pick a player up and tap him on the head and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't get hit as hard next time. Like a joke with them.
Right.
And I think a lot of it was that to Cam Newton of, hey, maybe maybe you have to be in the league a little bit longer to get that call. You're not on the level of these guys yet. As much of a joke as it might have been, it really irked Cam Newton. But I don't think it should have irked him to the point where he has to call out an NFL ref on a post-game press conference and say, this is what was said to me, this is what's going to happen. Because now every single play these refs are going to be scrutinized for, saying, oh, did he not make that call because he didn't want to be scrutinized by somebody in the organization or by the player at the post-game conference. It's really done a disservice to the refereeing, and it's really done a disservice to Cam Newton, I think.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Solid point.
It's hard to agree. It's hard to disagree with that. It does make sense. He probably was joking around a lot. I'm more thinking of it based on the actual call. I think that you kind of have to keep all quarterbacks in the same the same group, I think.
Yes.
I'll say this. I think he kind of has a reputation of being a little sensitive, going all the way back to his days at Auburn. I mean,
True.
he's had run-ins with the media and such where, like, he just kind of half-hearted, like, answers questions because he doesn't like what people say about him and such. So, I mean, I could see him taking it a little bit differently than some other players, too, would.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Cam Newton really does need to just acknowledge the fact that it's the reality of what he's doing as a running quarterback, as well as the fact that, you know what, sometimes you just got to back it up with your play and just turn around and just walk the other way. And now, speaking of walking the other way, it's time for the pick'ems, boys.
Yeah, that was okay.
You know, it's not.
That's a terrible segue.
I'll give myself a 6 out of 10 there.
That's generous.
5.5.
I'll give you a 7, Dick.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Congratulations on not finishing in last this week.
Yeah! Lone Wolf!
Actually, you got your lone wolf wrong.
Oh, whoops.
Whoops.
And it's okay, because now it's time for a new week, and Lou and Frank tied for first place with an incredible
Thank you.
13 wins.
Woo! Thank you.
Out of how many?
Out of 16.
Come on, Joe.
How many did I get?
You got 11.
We tied, Joe.
Oh, 11 and 5. That's a playoff, baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I came in with 12. So we had a very good week
That
here,
was a good
guys.
week. Yeah.
Very good week. Clap all around. Just good work, Blitz Team.
Go team.
Good work, Blitz Team.
We know football.
We know football. Nick Lippa came in last, but hey, he still got double digits too, so you got to take it. Now, guys, it's time to get the Week 4 pick'ems going, and we are obviously assuming that Green Bay is closing out Kansas City here. It's almost Chase Daniel time for Kansas City. This game is kind of getting ugly and fast.
Just pass it to Travis Kelce.
Yes. You can pass it to Travis Kelce. Let's do some favors here for James. But it's time to get the Quick'em. Actually, before we do the Quick'em, I forgot. What am I doing here, guys? Safe bets. Joe, you're on the phone, so you're gonna go first.
I actually have this one for me, so someone else go first.
I'm going to take the Seahawks over the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football.
All right, so Lou is locking in the Hawks.
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Take the Bills over the Giants.
Whoa!
Wait, can I change mine?
You hawked mine out.
Can I change mine, Derek?
Okay.
Eagles over Redskins.
Oh, wow. How did you overlook that?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay.
There we
Even
go.
though Cody Parkey's
All
on IR, but it's okay.
Frank, because you ended up tying for first here.
Raiders over the Bears.
Ooh.
I like it.
James, I'm giving you the courtesy because I'm the host.
You know what? I'm kind of glad Lou changed his pick because I'm going to go with the Seahawks over Detroit for an 0-4 start.
Ooh, the Lions will not be looking good here. And guys, I don't know how anyone avoided this one, but the Arizona Cardinals over St. Louis here. That is going to be my lockdown.
There's another one that we easily could have said too.
Denver, Minnesota.
Green Bay, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Green Bay, San Francisco is a great one.
Can we call
That
the
was
worst game of the week at Dallas, New Orleans?
What do you mean? You don't like Brandon Weeden and Luke McCown?
Battle. Hey, you know what? I just think it's hilarious that those Luke McCown commercials are now true. Give the backup a chance.
Well, he's getting his chance, and honestly, it's not going to matter because Rob Ryan is awful at his job.
True.
And with the next primetime song comes the Quick'em.
All right.
And we start with Thursday night, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. And here's the order we're going in. It's going to be me, then Frank, then Joe, then Lou, then James. Baltimore, Pittsburgh. There's no way the Ravens go to 0-4. And without Ben Roethlisberger, give me the Ravens.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh. I'm optimistic about Vic.
Joe.
I'm going to go Ravens. Flacco versus Vic. I'll take Flacco.
I'm teaming up with Derek and Joe right now. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens. Get their first win.
James?
I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Oh, God,
Lone
Joe.
Wolfing.
First,
Do it, Frank.
first game, and
Much better than that.
Joe
There
has.
we
Frank has the lone
I'm
wolf.
Lone Wolf in this one.
All
Yeah.
right.
Here's the thing. Ravens defense is struggling. And like I said, I'm optimistic about Vic.
Well, you're optimistic because you have him on your
I
fantasy.
do. And I'm hoping he's going to at least do something.
Moving on. Jets, Miami. Oh, God.
In London.
Wow.
Am I about to take the
this
Jets?
isn't London.
I am. The
Ugh.
Dolphins look like a train wreck. Frank.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jets.
I'm going to go Dolphins.
Dang it, I'm going Dolphins. I wanted the lone wolf. on this one. I'm going down with the ship, Derek. I'm going down with the ship.
I
Yeah,
don't.
you are.
Jets, Jets.
Oh no.
It's bad when the Jets are suddenly a superior option over Miami.
DiBiase dominance in this game.
God.
All right,
It's
well,
almost as if your brother.
Colts, Indy, speaking of dominance, I don't think there's a dominant team in this one, but there's no way I could see the Colts going to 1-3. Give me the Colts.
The Colts blow this one. I would be terribly surprised. I'm going Indy.
Colts.
Colts.
We have a
Easy.
clean round here. Giants, Bills. Buffalo's looking too good.
They're looking too good. Got to go with the Bills.
Joe, it's your safe. Lou.
I've literally taken every team against the Bills this year. I'm going to finally go with the Bills. I like me some Tyrod Taylor.
There you go.
Hey.
There we go. Let's go Buffalo.
There it is. There's the second clean sweep. I don't think it's going to be that way this time. Who am I kidding? It's Carolina, Tampa Bay. Give me the Panthers.
Yeah, give me Carolina.
Don't do it, Joe.
Don't do it, Joe.
He's going to
Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I've taken the
thank you.
Panthers every time, and I'm going to stick with them. Cam Newton's taking this
Yeah.
team. Cam Newton, Panthers.
Panthers defense,
James.
baby.
Is he doing it?
I
He's got-
can't have Newton in the Panthers.
All right.
I can't. If we're gonna go 3 clean sweeps in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it's about to be 4. Give me the Eagles here over Washington.
Yeah. Eagles.
You know what? I think it's gonna be 6. Just looking at the schedule. But
Joe.
I'm taking the Skins.
Oh, Joe.
There it is.
Oh, breaking the streak.
Do it, Joe.
Eagles have not looked good to me. They didn't even look that good against the Jets. Redskins are home.
We'll discuss
Why not?
this later.
James?
I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles.
Joe,
Fly,
lone
Eagles,
wolf.
fly.
Do it. Ugh, that was weak.
Okay,
because of the
phone
farming.
howl. Do not phone howl ever
Yeah.
again. Please. Oakland, Chicago. This is Frank's safe pick,
Yes.
and I'm following suit. Give me the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Joe.
Raiders.
Everyone hop in the Derek Carr. Let's go. Raiders.
Amari Cooper
I
looked
like
too
that.
dominant. Raiders.
I like that. I like
Who
that,
would have
Lou.
thought?
Thank you, Frank.
Atlanta, Houston. I'm liking me them Falcons right now to stay shot for shot with the Carolina Panthers.
I like that. I like that pick. I'm going to take it too.
Joe.
What was the game again? Sorry.
Falcons, Texans.
Thank you. Falcons.
I am taking Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, and the Falcons to go 4-0. What?
I got to do it too. I mean, the Texans, they have problems at quarterback, and Atlanta looks too good.
We're all going to tie this week because
This
we're
is-
all taking the
Yeah.
same team. So someone's going to have to.
Joe's going to break it open,
I
or
might
Frank's
just-
going
I
to
might
break
just
it
break
open.
the
Okay, I
tie.
promise. We're just gonna say this. On the next one where you guys
You
all pick a
is-
team, I'm gonna go lone wolf and pick the opposite team.
All right.
That's
The
a
pl-
promise.
The privilege of being last.
The promise.
Okay.
Now, Cincinnati, KC, I've picked against the Bengals actually all year. I am not making that mistake again. Give me the Bengals over the Chiefs.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. I'm going to go Cincy. It's because they're at home.
Bleacher Report is the Bengals ranked as the power ranked the 3rd best team in the NFL. I'm taking the Bengals.
This might be your lone wolf, James, because I'm taking the Bengals.
The Lone Wolf High?
I promised it. I can't go back on the promise. It's on the radio. It's in the internet. It can't. It's never coming back. I'm gonna have to go with Kansas City.
All right,
Do
give
it.
it the howl. Not bad, not bad. Joe, did you
Joe,
howl
what
over
was
the
that?
phone?
I think he had
An app.
real
Oh,
sound.
come
That
on.
was
No,
good.
that was me.
Oh,
was
I
not-
don't know, man.
I don't think so.
Cleveland, San
Oh,
Diego.
And I'm the rookie here.
I'm going ahead and I'm taking the Chargers to bounce back over Josh McCown.
You got to go with the Superchargers.
Yeah, Chargers. Philip Rivers versus Josh McCown. all
Why-
day. Rivers.
Why isn't Johnny Manziel playing? I'm taking the Chargers.
You know what? If Johnny Manziel was playing, as much as I don't like him, I would probably say Cleveland, but I got to go Chargers.
Wow, we are really going to.
I went
this lead.
11 and
I
5,
believe-
and I'm in
I-
last place.
listen.
I am trying to play this
Listen.
You were in
safe as
second last
possible.
place. You were in second last.
Listen.
Tied for last. Whatever.
No,
Playing-
you were not tied for last. You were second last. You were tied for second last.
I don't understand how that works.
Nick
Join the
Lippa went
club.
in last.
Oh, okay. I
Yes.
thought you were talking
Listen. Blame the NFL for scheduling this.
Or blame the bad teams for being bad. Speaking of
Blame
bad,
the bad teams for being
speaking
bad.
of bad, Green Bay, San Fran. Do I have to deliberate?
about. No.
Green Bay.
I'm just gonna let that sizzle.
Joe, are you going to be a hero?
No. I'm taking Green Bay.
Yeah.
All right.
James.
Green Bay.
All right. St. Louis, Arizona. That was my safe pick. Frank.
It would have been my safe pick too.
Joe.
Go on the Cardinals.
Nick Foles is undefeated all time against the Cardinals. That will end as the Cardinals.
Ooh.
That's
nice
not.
curveball.
He
That's
actually
a
lost.
random stat to pull out of the middle of
Yes.
nowhere.
He actually lost last year to the Cardinals.
No.
Just
Last
Yeah.
time I ever go to this website.
Yeah, nice job.
Sorry,
Maybe that
Joe.
was up. Maybe
I would
that
trust
was
the
last
Eagles
updated.
fan over that.
My bad on that
Well,
one.
maybe that was updated
Yeah,
last year.
Happens.
Huh.
Lou,
Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals.
this is we're
Joe's
all gonna.
second lone wolf.
We are.
Look.
Do it, Joe.
No, he threw a curveball. He said it was
Cardinals.
going to
I
end.
took the Cardinals.
I heard it. I heard
dang.
it. Yes. Minnesota, Denver. Oh my God, this is really getting like pretty
Annoying.
repetitive here, guys. Give me the
Yeah.
Broncos.
Especially because they're at home too. I'm going Denver.
Mile High, Denver.
God.
Do it.
I like me some Teddy Bridgewater.
There it
Vikings.
is.
Oh.
I don't want to tie. I'm
You know
I'm
what?
doing this.
As just because so he can have his lone wolf, they're a mile up in the air, which means the ball travels further, so Peyton Manning won't look as bad. So I'm gonna go Denver.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh God, Dallas, New Orleans. I cannot stand what Rob Ryan does. Brandon Whedon actually scares me. This is the only one I've really had to think about,
Yeah.
and I still really don't like what New Orleans is doing. Give me Dallas.
I don't want to go Dallas, but I'm gonna go Dallas.
Joe.
I'll take the Saints at home. Luke McCown looked pretty efficient, as did Whedon, but Saints got to win at some point. So.
I will never, ever, ever take the Cowboys. I'm going Saints.
I'm gonna go with the Aints as well.
Whoa. Okay, we
The
finally got
Aints.
some. We finally got some differences here, guys.
There we go.
It only took
takes-
until Sunday night, and
It just
now
looks like a boring weekend of football. I mean,
it really is just going to
Yeah.
be like
Just
whitewash
domination
central.
all around.
Let's wrap it up, boys. Detroit, Seattle. The defending NFC team wins this thing.
Especially because they got Chancellor back and now they're at home. You got to go the Seahawks.
Seahawks all day.
It was James's safe, Lou.
Go Hawks.
Guys, we are either all going down together or
We're all gonna rise.
we are all
together.
going to have another 13-win week.
We got a couple differences. There
We
might
got a
be some
couple
picks
differences,
that really
but
decide a couple.
It's going to be as
losers.
close as it was last week,
Yeah.
essentially.
It's gonna be real close.
It's really going to be dependent on do the Lone Wolves nail their picks.
I
It-
think
it
we
looks
need-
like it's
I think we
down
need
to-
live updates on how we're doing
Yeah.
this weekend.
I'll try my best.
Okay.
It looks like it's gonna be down to this Saints Cowboys game, and then that's really it.
That's really it. There's again, the Lone Wolves have to hit to make the differences
Guys,
happen.
Jets
Guys,
Dolphins too.
Guess what just happened?
What?
just happened.
The Chiefs threw a touchdown to a wide receiver.
Oh
Was-
my
What?
gosh!
Did Alex
21
Smith throw
straight
it? Did
weeks.
Alex Smith throw it? This is an important question.
He did.
Oh my
21
God!
straight weeks
It's
have been
over.
broken.
It's over.
18 all last season, 2 weeks into this year, and 3 weeks into last year. 21
Wait.
straight weeks.
Who was the receiver?
Jeremy Maclin.
Of course.
Finally.
What?
Okay.
All right, Frank.
Well,
Chiefs threw a
good
touchdown.
for them. I mean,
What?
that's
Frank is
I'm
Do the
shocked.
shocked.
Chiefs know what a touchdown pass even is?
Well, no, they throw them to Travis Kelce and Jamal Charles, but it's to a receiver is the problem.
Well,
Well then.
for Joe DiBiase over the phone, thank you for calling in and getting your picks in, buddy.
You're welcome. I know
For-
you all enjoyed it.
All right. Joe, see you later, and we'll see you in the station soon enough. For Louie DiBiase, for James Bittler, for Frank Arcury, I am Derek Kramer. This has been the Buffalo Blitz. Enjoy your football this week, because we know we sure will.